Thank you, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the council, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, and ladies and gentlemen who will be watching this on YouTube. My name is Joe Imbriano. I run the Fullerton Informer website. And I want to thank you all for putting your city attorney to work. File the lawsuit. Prepare and file. You know, when I was a child, I used to ride my bike from Garden Road to Huntington Beach and Balboa and Newport Beach. I used to go fish and go to the beach. My father came through Ellis Island as an Italian immigrant. We could not afford to live in Newport Beach or Huntington Beach. We lived in Garden Road. And I used to take that river trail, and you know what? I never saw anybody sleeping on it. Now we do. And there's a reason that's happening, folks. It's happening because of simple economics and demographics, supply and demand. Jobs have been removed from the reach of American citizens by greedy, corrupt, evil people that want to pay substandard and low wages and inhumane working conditions. That needs to stop. This has created a tremendous market for sex trafficking because most of the day laborers use massage parlors. I brought this up multiple times to my police department in the city of Fullerton and even to the district attorney at a recent event. With respect to human trafficking, you know, sometimes I think I'm in Pahrump, Nevada in Orange County because of the amount of massage parlors, and I know firsthand of people who unfortunately patronize these establishments and have freely admitted to me that illegal activities are taking place in these places, and in some cases they even admit that these people are possibly minors and are not there by their own volition. So I'm curious as to what you plan to do about this plethora of massage parlors and sex for pay in Orange County.
Yes, sir. The questions about massage parlors, we're working on those all the time, working against those massage parlors. And those people that you're talking about, these sex purchasers who go out and pay for sex, and frankly, I don't have any sympathy for these guys at all. We prosecute them too. We prosecute sex purchasers. It's I'm afraid it's a misdemeanor, but it's a misdemeanor to solicit But we listen. We prosecute them, and once we've done that, we put their pictures on our website so that people can understand who they are and what they've done, and that they're willing to have sex with anybody for money. They're willing to have sex with somebody who's there as a slave or somebody who's there as a minor. So we go after those people. Yes, sir.
What's your position on sex? And they say they're doing a great job, and I'm telling you folks, they're not doing a great job because those massage parlors are open for business 24/7. We need to put our foot down, and we need to reestablish the rule and order of law in the United States, and it starts right here because you're the only city thus far next to Los Alamitos who's not punting but running for the touchdown line. Everybody else, like Fullerton, what they got planned tomorrow night is a bunch of nonsense. What Mission Viejo passed the other night is a bunch of nonsense. This attorney hopefully has some teeth because I'm hoping he's a shark because we're going to need him. We need to send his lawsuit to Sacramento, and we need to get these illegal activities and these criminal politicians to stop telling us at the local level what to do. Is this a charter city?
Thank you.
I'm glad it is. Go for it. Fine. And to our country. You see, folks, Orange County is where Joe Imbriano lives. And I'm the Fullerton Informer, and I'm here to tell you that we got problems in Orange County, and they're big problems. You know, I've been married for 20 years. I have a family. I have a home, a single-family residence. I have several automobiles. And I have to pay my property tax, I have to pay my income tax, I have to pay my capital gains tax, I have to pay my sales tax, I have to pay my FICA tax, my Medicare tax, SSI tax, all this nonsense, all right? I got to pay all these taxes.
And, you know, I got to fix the water heater when it breaks, and I got to change the oil, and I got to fix the pipes, and when something overflows, I got to clean it up. Well, you know, I have some friends of mine that they didn't get married. And there's nothing wrong with not getting married. That's people's choice. But I had a friend of mine over at my house not too long ago, and we got to talking as guys do, and he actually had the nerve to start laughing at me, looking around my house and saying, "You actually have to pay for all this?" He said, "I just go to the massage parlor, and for an extra $40, I get it for that price." He said, "How much are you having to pay every month to float this boat you're living in?" And I gave him a candid answer of what my expenses were and how much it cost to maintain my standard of living and raise my family. And he started laughing at me. Now, you know, it's not funny, but it's true. You see, right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted to go into a massage parlor and you developed a relationship with the place and they realized you weren't from the Vice Squad or from one of the media networks trying to catch them in the act of engaging in prostitution, you could get your happy ending. And it goes on all the time in Orange County. That's why you see these massage parlors with the windows all blacked out with these signs, these neon signs in the middle of the night that say open. Because they are. And the later the better, folks, because the nighttime is the right time for the wrong things to happen to the wrong people. Well, turns out that this individual has a particular person that he would see regularly, and it turns out the person was a minor. Apparently. We can't confirm that, but it is alleged as such. And he thinks she was pretty young, and I would assume she was. And she was from Southeast Asia, as in all the other ones of these trafficked women that are in these massage parlors. Now, this plays out every day in Orange County. These massage parlors are all over the place. Now, granted, there's some legitimate ones, but most of them are not. And I have brought this up when our congressman, Mr. Phony Baloney, Ed Royce, who's supposed to be in charge of the human trafficking division at the federal level, I believe that's what his title is, when he's not busy bombing countries back to the Stone Age with his Council on Foreign Relations Project for New American Century Brzezinski grand chessboard piece that he is, he's supposedly doing something about all this human trafficking. Well, when he came for a political dog and pony show the last time he was up for election 2 years ago at the Fullerton City Council, I spoke on what a joke the whole thing is. And if they really wanted to do something about the human trafficking issue, then they would shut down these massage parlors. And of course the police chief was sitting there, Dan Hughes, he just sat there smiling.
Let's let people speak, right?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the council, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, and people will be watching this on television and YouTube. My name is Joe Imbriano. I run the FullertonInformer.com website. I want to thank all of you for coming out here tonight. I hope you enjoyed traversing our roads. I think that's probably the first thing, if you're from out of town, that you've noticed, is that we have the worst roads in Orange County. There is probably close to $100 million missing from our finances that should have gone into road repair over the last 30 years, and it did not. So I'm once again, for the second time in front of this council, asking for an outside firm to conduct a forensic audit of the city's finances. I would like to see that item discussed and agendized. You owe it to the people that put you up on the dais. Second of all, I don't believe Mr. Rakakis is here yet, but I wanted to talk on the human trafficking issue. I've brought this up before when Mr. Ed Royce was here trying to do his dog and pony show and was up for re-election. I think Rakakis is running again. We can't stop the flow of trafficked young women into this country unless we stop the demand for their services. And we cannot stop the demand for their services if we continue to allow the institutions that provide these services complete carte blanche to operate. Massage parlors are a complete, wide open Wild West for prostitution. That is a fact. There are people in these massage parlors that are working 24 hours a day that are trafficked women. We have a police department in this community that has technology that can listen to your phones and look through your walls. I don't see why it's such a big impossibility to start shutting down these facilities. If we get the customers scared to show up in these places, that will stem the tide for the demand and thus the flow of trafficked women into this county and into this city. That is how you solve this problem. You arrest people for doing the dirty deeds and publicly shame them and bankrupt the people that are bankrolling the trafficking. I also want to thank the Fullerton Collaborative for taking a stand against soda, although I think the bigger problem that we ought to be focusing on in this community is microwaving our children in our schools with the wireless devices and the industrial strength access points that continue to harm our children in this community. I will close my comments, and once again, I want to thank everybody for coming here. It's nice to see a full room.
And I mentioned that they need to send their officers in here undercover and shut these places down, catch them in the act and close them down. Well, you know, nothing's happened. They're all still open for business. And so a couple weeks ago, I was at an event that had to do with the Republican Party, and lo and behold, our district attorney, Mr. Tony Rakakis, was there, and his challenger, Todd Spitzer, was there. And I asked the same question of our district attorney, Mr. Tony Rakakis. And I said, what do you plan on doing about all these massage parlors and all this sex trafficking? And at first he seemed a bit startled at the question, which I can imagine no one's probably asked him that before because everybody's okay with this. Because I'm sure the cops are using the massage parlors too and cheating on their wives. That's why most of them are such a bunch of deranged psychopaths, because they're sexually unfulfilled. That's why they're loons. And that's why they're violent. And that's why they murder people and have anger management issues. Trust me, I live in Fullerton. I have family members that are constantly being harassed by the police, I know. Back to the issue. So I brought it up on more than one occasion that we've got a problem in Orange County to both the district attorney and to my city council and to my police chief, and all to no avail. And so the massage parlors are open for business. Now here's where I like to tie in the really big scary thing. And that is, when you have all of these illegal alien day laborers who have their significant others back in the foreign countries that they come from, these day laborers and these illegal immigrants that are in this country illegally actually use the massage parlors in a disproportionate amount compared to American citizens. So what we have going on is the worst of two worlds. We have illegal aliens engaged in prostitution with massage parlors, sex trafficked women from Southeast Asia. So you have these young girls that are lured away from their family in the villages and promised that their family will receive wealth for them getting a job in the city, supposedly working in a sweatshop or something, when in reality they're just kidnapped and shipped into the United States. And I've brought up at the council meetings and in front of the district attorney that the only way to stop this is to stop the demand for their services, and that is to go after the establishments that offer these services. So what we have on our hands is now we're actually catering to the illegal aliens who are taking away all the jobs and the trades, you know, the construction jobs, the plumbing and the framing and the drywall and the roofing, all those jobs that they say nobody wants, when in fact those were the jobs that most people that didn't go to college ended up making a career out of and sending their own kids to college and buying a home and several cars and having a good standard of living. Now the wages are depressed because they've flooded the market with cheap labor, and they've allowed this open border policy to turn into a sanctuary state policy by criminals in our government. And so what we have here is sex for sale in these massage parlors that is being delivered and served up to the illegal aliens who are patronizing these massage parlors. And so we have a huge problem with both of what I just mentioned. We have a huge illegal alien problem, and we have a huge problem with trafficked women. So how do you solve this problem? Well, I think the trafficked women demand would stop if we had a problem with the customer supply, and that's pretty easy to stop. But see, we have cities that don't want to go along with the federal law. You see, when these illegal aliens get busted for breaking into a car or trying to rob somebody or trying to rape somebody or just general crime, their immigration status should be ascertained prior to their release. And if it is determined that they're in the country illegally like a criminal, and it is a crime to be here illegally. And shut up all you phony Christians who want to use the Bible to say nobody's illegal. Well, you know what? Then give me your phony churches and open up the jails, and we'll dump all the people that you say aren't illegal in those churches that you're stealing everybody's money with. And by the way, I'm a Christian, and I worship and serve the Lord Jesus Christ, so don't give me that nonsense. We're a nation of laws. And guess what? Go to the Supreme Court building and look at the Roman numerals chiseled on the door. They apply to the 10 Commandments. So don't give me your bleeding heart liberal nonsense, you phony preachers that steal everybody's money and want to just destroy this country. I'm not buying it, and nobody should. All your churches that want to sit here and support the illegal aliens, guess what? We're going to open them up and turn them into the places where we empty the jails into, and you can feed and house these people, and we can let them have sex with your wives, okay? How's that sound? Instead of doing something about the problems that I've just mentioned, the churches are coming to the city council meetings and telling everybody that we need to help these people and let them continue to do what they're doing. No, we don't. You see, folks, the way to deal with the problems is to present real solutions. Now, here is a problem that will arise when we deal with one of these problems. When we shut down the massage parlors and interfere with the flow of trafficked women and the access to the sex slaves in these massage parlors, these illegal aliens are still going to have these needs. And guess what? If they can't pay for it and get it the way they're getting it, they're going to take it by force. And that brings up my other point. All you women who are coming to these city council meetings demanding that the cities stay as a sanctuary city, you're the ones that are going to be getting raped. What is the matter with you? Why am I raising my voice? Well, I have daughters, and I have a wife. And it's the stupidity and the arrogance and the insanity of people who don't understand what they're involved in and what they're supporting that is about to turn the United States and Southern California in particular into a living hell for women. Because the first thing that goes is them. They're the targets. Look what's going on in Germany right now. Look what's going on in the Scandinavian countries. Rape is out of control with these out of control immigration issues. So ladies first, okay? How's that sound? Oh, well, you can't have guns either, because you're the first ones that say we should turn in the guns. You're the ones getting on television telling us that we have to protect our children by turning our guns in and making access to firearms an impossibility. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not being sexist. I'm not being racist. I'm being truthful. Open your eyes to what I just said. We have a problem in Orange County, and this problem is rampant all over the United States. We have a tremendous problem with trafficked women, trafficked young girls. And all you sickos that go out there and think it's okay to cheat on your wives and go into these places and spread disease and demoralize these poor women that have already been broken and psychologically traumatized. That's why they're there in the first place. Shame on you. You belong in jail. Because prostitution is illegal. That's a fact. Now, if you want to have a prostitute, then go to Pahrump, Nevada and pay for it. But you don't jump the fence and come to Orange County as an illegal alien and take jobs away from my children in places out of my colleges that I can't get my kids into because your kids are in there, and to take all my tax money for food stamps and Medicaid and abortions and sex changes and dental care and legal help while you use the massage parlors and spread venereal disease and end up in the emergency room on my dime. Oh, you don't like that, do you? You don't like the truth. And you know what? Neither do these phony churches, because they won't get involved in this. Our country is being invaded by criminals. Do you think the people that are coming here are the most law-abiding, educated, successful people that these countries have to offer? No. What comes in from Southeast Asia? Look what comes in from Southeast Asia. Look at the trafficked women. Look at the gangs. Look at the drug cartels from Asia. Look at the money laundering and the business fraud, the insurance fraud, the Medicare fraud, the Medicaid fraud, the dental care fraud. All this white-collar Asian crime coming in. Yeah, you heard me, folks. The SBA ripoffs, all that stuff is going on. What's coming in from south of the border? The same thing on different levels. You got food stamp fraud, Medicaid fraud, free lunch fraud, financial aid fraud, workers' comp fraud. You know, it's all going on. Why am I bringing this up? Because in a couple of days, you're going to have to pay your taxes, folks, just like I did. And it's a double whammy for those of us that busted our asses for years to get a house and raise a family, because we got to pay income tax, state income tax, and federal income tax, and property tax. That's right. But then there are those people who want to come over here and basically rape trafficked women in a massage parlor and get everything for nothing. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? We're not putting up with it anymore. And we're going to find a way to get you put in jail and get you sent back to where you came from. And don't even think about trying to hurt us, because the American people are armed to the hilt. And it's going to stay that way, ladies and gentlemen. And for all you phony churches out there, good luck trying to survive in the years ahead, because the money's drying up, because people aren't donating to your fraudulent operations anymore, because the tax code has changed, because God has allowed it to, because you have abandoned your responsibilities to take care of the poor, the fatherless, the widows, and the oppressed. And what you've done is you've allowed all of those people to be abused by the government and the system. That's right. The government is abusing the fatherless, the widow, and the oppressed. The government is victimizing those people for their political agendas to destroy this country and to enslave its people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Briano, the Fullerton Informer, coming to you from Orange County. And I'm hoping that the check you have to write is not a big one. And for those of you that are honest, I hope you're getting a refund. Until then, God bless. All right, folks. Well, today is April 11th, and I'm sure you're getting ready to lick that envelope and put that stamp on it to the IRS, aren't you? If you're one of the lucky ones that is fortunate to have a job that pays a decent salary or wage, or if you have a business that managed to survive another year, or if you did well in the stock market and you're paying your capital gains tax, or if somebody died in your family and left you something of any significance, you're going to be writing the check. And I don't need to tell you where a lot of that check is going, because it certainly isn't going where it's supposed to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about something very disturbing that cannot be ignored. And it really involves two separate issues that are inexorably linked with each other.